Welcome to another lovely bundle. We are starting today with Emma Scott Child, who is the founder of Ladyland and Junction Studio Brighton. Emma really amuses me on Instagram. I love her creative eye, how she shares the world, adventures. She also has this setup where she allows her children to dictate the day and plan what they're going to do, and she Insta stories the whole thing, and it's so interesting. So if you are looking to bring a smile to your face, do check out Emma. I am beginning, by the way, at interview 69 today if you want to search them out. Then I'm moving to episode 70 with Adrienne Herbert, who is a creator, a runner and a speaker. Perfect if you need a bit of motivation, perfect if you want to start running. She has a real lust for life and also shares lots of her travels. And again, somebody I really love following. Next, Tahira Herold, who is a makeup designer and also works using natural, organic and ethically made beauty products. I always get lots of ideas from Tahira because I really want to be careful about what I put on my skin and my body and my hair and be really conscious and considerate in that. She has so many great tutorials that she shares and a fantastic newsletter too. Finally, Sommer Pyne, who is the founder of House Curious. Do check out her house if you need a bit of inspiration. My goodness me, beautiful. I would say she's much more of a content creator these days, rather than somebody who is just selling products. Her business changed slightly over the last couple of years, but do check her out. And as always, if you need some help, if you want to make some moves this next month, do check out my brand new website. It is now live, nikkiraby.com/shop. You can / anything, basically. It's all there for you to work through, to have a look. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
So Ladyland started off because I was doing a lot of work that was very structured and for clients. So when you're a graphic designer, it's very similar to being a hairdresser. You know, like someone can walk in and say, I want this thing. And you can say, well, I don't think that's going to work. But at the end of the day, they're the client. You have to do what they want, whether you like the design or not. And I think from a creative person point of view, when you sort of feel like, you know, there's a trapped artist in there who just wants to just be left alone and do their own little, you know, piece of art. And so Ladyland was kind of that for me. It started off as just having some ideas to do some creative craft projects and some bits of home improvement, and then being able to do that in a way that I could just create the thing, finish it, and then broadcast it, and no one would say, that's great, but can you make it blue? Yeah, so Ladyland actually started, there was actually 8 of us at the beginning. We were all the ladies. And it came about because I had a bunch of mates who, we all had different specialties, and we would all meet up and we would do a kind of stitch and bitch kind of night where we would bring knitting and craft projects and drink wine and then sort of forget to knit and just talk rubbish.
And can't remember how you got home.
Yeah. And then all our husbands are like, I thought you were knitting.
Yeah, where's my scarf?
But we all had these like specific different talents. So one was an interior designer, another was a fashion editor, another was a beauty editor. I'm doing my crafty thing, and one of the other ladies is amazing at baking. And we're like, well, let's come like bring this together, and we can each take a section, and we've basically got a lifestyle website right here. We can all like create the content, which was great for a while, and it was great. You know, this was 5 years ago when blogs were really huge, and it was less about social media aspect and more about the sort of content on a website.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not to say that, you know, I of course have a diary. I have my digital calendar with Gmail, and other people can see that as well, so they can access that. Like my agent, for example, can access that and see, okay, where I am if she can't get hold of me. Also, I have my paper diary, and I love that because if I write down, like Sunday nights, I tend to go through the week ahead, and I think looking at something on paper is so different to seeing it digitally, and I can kind of just draw it. I can write it in a way that makes me see how much space it takes up as well. So if the whole week is covered with, notes and dates and times and stuff, then I know it's going to be a hell of a week. Whereas I feel like what I've tried to do now is have white space in that calendar. So I'm like, okay, Thursday afternoon is looking pretty empty, and I'm going to keep it that way, because I don't think you can go back to back all the time. You need white space in your life.
Yeah, and that's when the really good ideas come as well. That's when you get the little nuggets. I guess that's what running's done for me as well, is going, gosh, actually, to run a business, to remain creative, to do all the things, to show up as a partner and as a mother, then I need that headspace. I'm not just a machine that can keep going. Yeah,
exactly, 100%. You can keep going for so long, but I think what I've done, especially this year, I think this year's been just crazy busy for me. And obviously when you're self-employed, when you're starting your own thing, you want to say yes to all these opportunities. Like I've this year said yes to way too many things, and then you've got all these plates and you're like, okay, so I'm doing this talk tomorrow and I want to go over my notes for that. Oh, but I've got to do this tonight, and I've got to do this in the morning, and I'm getting up at 5 and getting on the train. And honestly, there have been weeks when I've got to the end and just about survived and gone, oh my goodness, like what was I thinking, saying yes to 17 things this week? Like, it's crazy. And then I'll go, okay, Adrienne, you need to scale it back. You need to learn to say no. And then 2 weeks later, I'll do it again. So I think you're right about knowing your limit and having to take stock and be like, I do need to be, like, as you said, a wife, a mother, a sister, whatever, a friend. And you need time for yourself. You just can't, you'll burn out. I think I've been fortunate.
So, in terms of skincare, that was easy. That came a long time ago.
Yes.
The actual makeup definitely happened more once I was sort of pregnant and just had my baby and was sitting at home. I kind of discovered Instagram. I discovered social media. I hadn't been on Facebook since 2010, just because I found it really mind-bogglingly weird.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I discovered these makeup artists, these professional makeup artists, Lou Dartford in particular and Candice in particular, who are now friends and associates, that I was like, whoa, wait a minute. If they're doing it, why can't I? I've just been distracted by shiny golden packaging of the big French fashion houses. Like, whoa, there is a better way. And it looks amazing. What they're doing looks amazing. And I just went face first into it and kind of don't look back. And I even have a hard time buying straight brands, because once in a while I have to buy something from a straight brand because it needs to be really waterproof or last long for a client, whatever, red carpet. And then I'll just be researching the bejesus out of it and the company and making sure I'm buying the right, like I exhaust myself.
Yeah. Has it helped you have that sort of USP in terms of, has it opened new doors because of the way that you work?
Absolutely. Yes and no. I mean, I'm still, there's still certain doors that I'm banging up against, but like I said, I'm an ambitious girl in a lazy girl's body. But yeah, it has. But I think what I find a bit cringeworthy and makes me kind of go, ooh, is I see a lot of bandwagon jumping and sort of like, ooh, this is the catchphrase of the moment, I'm going to use it.
Yes.
And it's like, well, no, I think, again, and this, I hate saying this, but it has to kind of be authentic. I think the artists that I see doing the best at it is a bit like me in whatever way. It's a part of their lives, being conscious about whatever. There's a great artist I look up to a lot. She's called Justine Jenkins. She does a lot of amazing, beautiful work.
Oh, I know her. I love her stuff.
Justine is amazing, but she's very passionate about cruelty-free. She's very passionate about animal sort of safeguarding and rights and so on and so forth. And it's not about USP. It's not a business term. It is part of her DNA.
Yeah. I was outgrowing my office. So I then got a storage unit. And then I thought, in order for me to grow this, I can't be doing all the packing, because if I'm doing all the packing, how am I going to think of it strategically about the business and where it's going to go and how I can grow it? So I actually got some help in, like, very casual help. I wasn't able to pay that much, but I'd pay what I could. And yeah, it was on a very casual basis. And that helped because I was able to focus on the buying of products and thinking a bit more, in the future. So yeah, I guess it just grew organically like that. And, more recently, I was getting to the stage where we were just getting, I'm not getting loads and loads of orders, but I'm getting enough that it's taking up so much time that's not physically possible for me to do it and run the business. So I made the decision to outsource all my fulfillment, my packaging. So that in itself was, a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. When Indy, my second child, was 6 weeks, I had her strapped to me and I was down at the big yellow storage packing.
The glamour.
It's just moments like I would cry and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like this little precious baby. I should be at home snuggled up in bed. But, I'm a bit of, I just never give up. I'm a fighter. I'll work. I'm not scared of working hard. I know there's a lot of people that be like, this is shit. I'm not, can't do this anymore. But I always think there's some, we've got to make this work somehow. And so yeah, fulfillment